Welcome to Rhino Exploration. My name is Zach, and this, guys, is our 4-day adventure across Colorado, hitting a bunch of different trails as we go, so stay tuned, guys. As I said, this is our 4-day adventure, and my guest, as I guys promised you, is my dad. He is back. He came up here for this adventure, and we have got 4 days to trek across about 9 different trail systems here in Colorado. Now, they are not all very long. Some of them are a little shorter, but the whole goal is to stay on trail for the most part. Over the course of these 4 days, we'll be hitting basically a different section of trail each of the days. I built it all on Onyx Off-Road, which is not a sponsor of the channel, but I did it on their new, route builder. I built out my routes, and today, for day 1, we are on Old Monarch Pass. We are going to be doing that. I have got campsites marked out throughout the map, depending on where we are at what time, because the goal is that each day we get a majority of the trail done, and we stop, camp, pack up the next morning, finish the trail, make our way to the next one, to the next section of trails that we have. And each one is ranging anywhere between 50 to about 60 miles of trail. That is the goal. And all these trails range anywhere between about a 3 on the ranking of difficulty, from a 3 to a 5. And they're all open. I had to make sure that they were open here in Colorado, because a lot of the trails, a lot of the passes, like Black Bear and things, are still closed because there's still snow on the mountains and things like that, and they're unpassable still, and they haven't opened up yet. And so far, we're off to a good start. There's a lot of downed trees in places from the storms that have blown through Colorado the past week, but so far so good, and that's the hope. And so we are going to be starting here at the beginning of the Old Monarch Pass Trail, just outside of Buena Vista a little bit, and the goal is to end in Telluride on Friday around mid-afternoon. The goal is to hit Telluride and end there, and then we will make our way back home. But it's going to be an absolutely fun time, guys. I put a lot of work into planning out the routes, finding potential camp spots on each section of our days. I've got at least 4 to 5 potential campsites marked out, just in case, because you never know, 1, who's out here, and 2, what they truly look like. You kind of just get in the bird's eye view. So the whole hope is that we find some pretty good campsites. They may not all be epic campsites, but I'm hoping that they're going to be really good. And the temperatures are really nice right now. It is only 58 degrees, and it's June, the end of June, so it's really nice out here. But that is the goal, guys. We are going to have a lot of fun, and today the whole purpose is Old Monarch Pass. We are going to see what it has to hold and just what mysteries it holds. I've never been out here like all the other trails, and so it is going to be a fun day, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy. Check that out, guys. That's really cool. That's all snow melt. That's all fresh water from the snow melting coming off of the mountains, and it is gorgeous out here. Now, the reason I did the intro in the Jeep was when we started, we were up higher, and it was a heck of a lot windier, and it was crazy, and he would not have been able to hear me at all. But we are down here, and we are gonna just have an absolute fun time. And like last time, my dad's gonna do a lot of the driving, because it means I can film and just enjoy the trail. And we'll switch off from time to time, but I know he'll enjoy doing a lot of the driving. But this is going to be a really fun time, guys, and I really hope you guys enjoy this trip. So our trip began on Old Monarch Pass. It was nothing super difficult, guys. It's, you know, it's a very easy trail. It's only rated at a 3, and honestly, that rating of 3 is for a section that's less than, you know, 100 meters for the most part. It's just how it was. But it was a super scenic trail. And it wouldn't be the last of the scenic trails. On this adventure, I said we'd be hitting around 9 different trails, and honestly, guys, each trail held something different. They all had some kind of scenic view to them. Some were a little more challenging than others, but it was just so nice to be getting out there and just seeing all the different parts of nature in different areas. Not every area within the Rocky Mountains or here in Colorado is identical. And it was just fantastic to see the differences in the landscape as we went along. Now, don't worry, we would be changing all over the place in elevation, starting off here at around 8,000 feet, and you know, Old Monarch Pass at the very top of it is over 11,300 feet in elevation, and we would be hitting even higher as we got, you know, through the week. As we went along through the week, we would get even higher on some of the trails, and it was awesome just to constantly be fluctuating through the elevation, because as you climb, as you guys know, things change with the elevation and the landscape and just, you know, the weather and the terrain, and it was just so much fun on this trip. And starting off with Old Monarch Pass, it was definitely a great way of easing into our trip and just getting us excited for what else the week held.
Well guys, it's been a lot of fun so far. We have been cutting in and out of private property. We've come up the mountain, down the mountain. Now we're heading back up into the mountains. We are still on Old Monarch Pass. And it was never supposed to be anything difficult. It's been very scenic, very easygoing, which has been great. And it has been a gorgeous day, guys. All the aspen trees. Just look at the stuff behind me. It is fantastic out here. And we have been having just an absolute blast of a time. But we're gonna keep climbing and seeing what else is in store, because this is supposed to just get up there. We're supposed to be well over 11,000 feet at one point on this trail, so we will see, but this is gonna be a lot of fun. Alright guys, we have stopped for lunch. It is like almost 12:30 or so, and we haven't eaten breakfast, so we got quite hungry. And actually we've stopped in one of the areas that I marked off on the map as a potential campsite. Maybe in 20 years this would be a really cool campsite, especially with all these little pines just growing. And it's got one hell of a view. That's gorgeous. But we stopped to eat and just take a little bit of a break. I've been running in and out of the Jeep. He's been driving and he needs to stretch his legs as well. And you know, it's a little windy. I get it's a little windy out here, but it has been an awesome day, guys. We have come up and down, and now we are just climbing up, and eventually we should hit around 11,000 feet when we're at the very top of this, and then we'll probably start snaking our way back down and find one of the campsites on the other part of the trail for the day. But for now, we're gonna eat lunch, enjoy this view, and have a good time. Alright guys, lunch was good. We are all set to continue down the trail we had. Yeah, it was really nice just to sit out here and enjoy nature. Oh my goodness. And it is just beautiful, and the wind isn't terrible. It's strong at times, but it's not terrible, and it's just gorgeous, and my dad's having a blast, which makes me so happy. But we are going to continue down the trail, so this is the part where we came up. We got to continue up it that way, so we're going to see what happens. Talk about a rock field. This has been fun watching him go over these rocks. However, he did tap the skid plate a little bit. Didn't use his line well. That's okay. That's what they're there for. This has been a lot of fun. Oh my goodness. But we're almost done with the rock field, which is nice. But this has been awesome.
At this point, we are over halfway into Old Monarch Pass, and Old Monarch Pass is just over 53 miles long. And I was a little concerned, but not completely, that we were getting through the trail much faster than I anticipated. I always tend to forget that when I have other people with me on the trail, especially like for instance having my dad with me and he's able to do the driving, I can get out and film so much faster, so I always forget to subtract that time out of my calculations of everything, which is fine. Now, along Old Monarch Pass is a tiny, tiny, tiny mountain town of Pitkin, and I didn't get any footage of us going through the town. Honestly, I was more concerned with just looking for what else we were going to be doing the rest of that day in that town. I didn't really, mess with the camera too much, and it was kind of like a blink and it was gone, because it is literally just one main street that is maybe 200 miles long, and that's it. But it was a very pretty little town. Now, I would not want to live in that town in the winter time. Oh my goodness, I could not imagine just how deep the snow gets for the residents of that town.
Alright guys, we have finished Old Monarch Pass. It actually went by a lot faster than we thought it was going to. But that's okay. So what we're going to end up doing is we're airing up right now. We got some lovely visitors right behind me, Kiels. We're going to drive up the road some more. We may stop in the town that we pass along the way. I actually think it's Gunnison. We may fill up the Jeep with some fuel, and then we're going to get onto the next section of the trail, which by the time we get up there, that's probably about half an hour away. We get on the trail a little bit more, and then we will be able to start finding camp. We're not going to get very far into our second section area for tomorrow at all, so that'll be good. Even if we were to be ahead of schedule all the way, we'll still find other trails to go and do, so I'm not worried. But we are going to get ourselves aired up down the road, and then we're going to continue having fun. It is 3 o'clock right now. We've got about another hour, maybe 2 to go, and then we're gonna find camp, and then we're gonna start going from there, guys. The whole point is to go and find camp now, and that's what we're gonna do. But we're first air up, get down the road, probably get fuel, and then keep going. Welcome to camp, everybody. We decided to get on to the next section that will be tomorrow's trail, just because we got through that, and this is Owl Pass, at least the start of Owl Pass in the San Juan National Forest. We went through Gunnison, we stopped in Montrose, filled up the Jeep, and now we're out here. We got dinner going, we've got a fire going because the mosquitoes are crazy, so we're using that to help smoke them out. Tents up, we got most of our bedding stuff done, and yeah guys, this is a really cool campsite. Now I had several marked out here, and a couple of them didn't pan out. One was actually really cool, but there was somebody else really close by that they just kind of made their own campsite. And this one out here, there's no one around us, guys. And check out this view. Check this out. We have these awesome rocks. Okay, let me have you check out a view that you can't see. These awesome rocks back here. And actually right down there where my finger is, which I'll take you guys later, is an actual lake. Yeah, so right down over there is actually a lake. And I will take you guys over there. You can't camp right next to it, unfortunately, but right here is perfect. There is no one else out here, and we have an awesome view, guys. This view is money. This is awesome. I am so happy we have this, and the smoke is helping to keep all the mosquitoes. I'm watching them fly and push back. It's great. But it's been a great day so far. We are going to just kind of chill out and relax, guys. We got dinner going. Once dinner's done, we're gonna eat because it is almost 7 o'clock. We got into camp a lot later than we wanted. There was a lot of traffic on the main road on Colorado State 50 trying to come in between here where we were and where we're not, and it was like an hour-long traffic jam. So I kind of ate up some time. But yeah, we're gonna relax, guys. Later we'll take you down over there by the lake, and yeah, that's gonna be it for the day, is this, and then we'll pick up with you guys tomorrow morning.
Good morning, everybody. It is day 2 of our 4-day adventure. And it's a little cold this morning, I have to admit. We've been up for, I don't know, about almost 2 hours now. My dad's probably been up longer. And it was very cold this morning, especially in the tent. We may have to do some rearranging so we can put the heater in there to help kind of kill that chill in the morning. But we got the fire going again this morning to help warm us up, and we're in no rush. We're just going to take our time and just enjoy. We've had breakfast already, and honestly we're kind of waiting for the sun to crest over the ridge over there to help warm us up a little bit more. But it is absolutely beautiful out here. It is. The birds have been chirping. It's been super nice despite the cold, and we've just been hanging around the fire, enjoying it, relaxing. It's been a very good morning so far. But the plan for today is to finish Owl Pass, and then we'll probably head over to the next leg or section that we're going to be hitting and start doing that, and we'll see how long that goes, because the third section is the longest, so it might be good that we're kind of ahead of schedule, because then we can, you know, accomplish those other areas. But we're going to start into that, and I'm also going to look up some other trails just in case we get done way earlier, because we're not going back early. We're just going to find more trails and have a good time with them. But that is the plan for today. But for right now, we're just going to chill, hang out, and I don't think we're really going to go anywhere until that sun crests over that ridge. Alright guys, we are all packed up, but first off, look at that lake. That's gorgeous. Oh my goodness. It's so pretty. There's some fish down in there. I can see them kind of coming up for air in a little bit. It's gorgeous. But we are all packed up and ready to get the day going. It is about 8 o'clock, just after 8. We took our time this morning. It was really nice, and as that sun came up, we warmed up, and oh my goodness, all new motivation, because we were really cold when we woke up. But we're going to continue down the trail and see what's in store. I suspect it's not going to take us all day, just like Old Monarch Pass didn't take us all day. So like I said, we're going to start into the third section and start that, because that's supposed to be a little bit more challenging. We'll see what happens. If we get all the way through today and into half of tomorrow's or a good part of it, then it happens, you know. Though I had things planned out, we're getting through them a little bit quicker than we thought, and so there's trails everywhere. This is Colorado. There are trails everywhere, so I have lots of other alternatives I was looking up last night that we can do on top of everything that will still have us ending in Telluride at the end of the week on Friday. So everything is all good, but we're going to have a lot of fun today, and yeah, guys, we're going to get ourselves going here in just a second. I'm going to take in a few more minutes at this view, and then we're going to get ourselves on the road. Guys, we're on the move. We got ourselves all packed up and we're going. We're having some slight issues with things not working today, like the 12 or the 120 volt in the back of the Jeep for the rear seats isn't quite working. I think either the fuse popped or something. I'm not quite sure, but I can't find out which one it is because the fuse box cover doesn't really give much detail. No phone service. Also, Onyx Off-Road isn't working, which pisses me off to no end. This will probably be the last trip I use that stupid app because it just constantly stops working whenever it wants to. And this is, yeah, I'm fed up with it. So we'll see if that ever actually starts working again. But otherwise, it's beautiful outside. It is really nice and cool. It's only 52 out, feels a little warmer than that. And it is just gorgeous being in the forest in the morning. It has been an awesome morning so far. And so we're on an adventure. We have no maps at the moment, so we will see what happens.
Owl Creek Pass was so beautiful in the morning. I cannot explain it to you guys just how gorgeous this part of the mountains were that morning. It was so nice. It was just a nice brisk temperature. It was so many pretty views. It was awesome. Now, Owl Creek Pass would be the easiest trail that we would do on our entire adventure. It's only rated at a 2. It's super easy. It was about 46 miles long, and it is gorgeous. If you guys are looking to get out with your family and just want to see a bunch of pretty views, go here because it was amazing, and it was nothing more than pretty much a Forest Service road the entire way, nothing technical whatsoever. And I just, once again guys, it was so pretty to watch the sunrise on all the mountains that still had snow on them, just being able to see some of the creeks that were rushing through because of it melting. Oh guys, it was, though it was such an easy trail, and I was a little, you know, bummed by it a little bit just because it really didn't take any time at all to do. I was so pleased that I got to wake up to those views next to that lake and then just drive along this path and see all the beauty it had to hold. You guys, check this out. Look at that view. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. You can just see some of the little towns out down there. Oh my goodness. You gotta love the middle of nowhere in Colorado. It's beautiful, beautiful. Ah, gorgeous. So we're still continuing, guys. We pulled over for the view because it was pretty. But this is pretty much like a big old Forest Service road. That is what Owl Pass has pretty much been. Owl Creek Pass, that it's just been that. So we're okay with that because it is eventually going to lead us to Ridgeway, which we're going to stop in Ridgeway and kind of sort out some of our things because none of my map systems are working. I can't even get Gaia to pull up anymore either. So we'll see what happens, but it has been an absolutely fun time and a gorgeous drive. It's been very scenic, and we're going to end up on section 3 today. So we will see what happens, but it has been an awesome day, guys, and that view, like, how can this upset anybody? This is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
We got everything working again. It just took a little bit. The maps, now we have signal and everything. They're up and working, so hopefully, cross our fingers, they stay working. And I got the outlet reset. It was as simple as unplugging and plugging it back in. The fuse is okay. But didn't know until we got in there. But everything's working, and we're heading to our third area, stage 3, if you will, of our journey. We're going to start tackling that because that should be more challenging, and we'll see where we get to. I have a feeling we may get pretty far on it, and if so, that's okay.
Now, on the way to section 3, if you will, of our adventure, we did have to pass through the town of Ure, however you'd like to say it. And it is such a very cool, pretty town within the mountains. I mean, I've never been here before, and I was just blown away by how kind of majestic it sits with the mountains in the distance behind it. Oh my goodness, it is so pretty, and I can understand why it's, such a big ski town and things like that, and why it's such a massive traveler's destination in the summer. It was gorgeous, and the mountain road just behind the town that leads you out through the mountains, absolutely spectacular. Oh my goodness, I could not believe it. But it did lead us to our next trail, which was going to be the hardest trail that we would do on this adventure. And if you recognize the start of this, you guys know which trail it is. Alright guys, this is section 3 for us. This is actually Engineer Pass. We're going to go up it. It's going to connect with Mineral Creek, and then we got a couple other trails. There's like 5 different trails that we are connecting that makes this big horseshoe for us that we're going to pop out somewhere completely different tomorrow. But this is going to be a lot of fun. This is supposed to be the most challenging area that we have so far, and it should be. It's rated out of 5, so we're going to have a lot of fun getting through here. So we're actually going to get ourselves started. We were waiting for some other people to come down. They've come down now, so it's our turn to start rocking and rolling. So let's go, guys. Let me start by saying Engineer Pass has jumped into some of the top categories of trails for me. I absolutely loved this trail, from the beautiful views to the technical aspects as you climb. Oh my goodness, it was such a gorgeous adventure today on this trail that I just can't explain to you any further than it was gorgeous than showing you on the video itself, because it was so pretty. And the technical aspect, I know I said it, but it was so much fun. And then also to watch my dad tackle some of these technical areas. He has a whole different perspective of lines than I do, so watching him take his own lines without any input was really cool to see. Now, Engineer Pass is rated out of 5, guys. You don't need high clearance and massive tires to get up it, but like I said, there are technical areas of it, and you do have to choose your line just a little bit carefully. It's not super difficult whatsoever, and you don't need lockers at all to get up this trail. Maybe if it was, more at the very early part of the season where there was a lot more snow on the trail, then it's possible, but no. And you would climb to over 12,800 feet in elevation when you get to the top. And as we go along, guys, we will encounter a few challenges as we go, meet some really cool people, and just have an absolute fun time.
this has been fun so far. We've maybe barely gotten up at any, but it has been a lot of fun so far, and my dad's, you know, putting it to the test. It's the most technical trail he's done. But that view out the window once all these trees disappear is gorgeous. Oh my God, is it pretty? Look at that. I guess it's not probably gonna come up on the camera, but that's okay. But it is pretty. But yeah, and the view in front of us, guys, look at that. Wow. But this has been a lot of fun. It's nice getting into a little more of a technical trail. It makes us slow down, makes us think a little bit. And it's fun watching my dad get through it, because he, you know, he thinks differently than I do when it comes to lines. So he's going to take his own lines, and we're gonna see how it goes, and I get shaken like a bobblehead.
This is fun. This is a nice technical trail with a view. Like, it's gorgeous out here, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. And I love these rocks. These rocks are so much fun. Guys, we got a rescue situation going. Not me, thank God. But we do have a Tacoma back there who is on the very edge, turtled, and his back end is hanging off and his front end is barely hanging on. So we are anchored to a tree there, and they are anchored onto us, and there is another truck that's anchored onto the back of them. So we're gonna help try and rescue this Tacoma and see how it goes. Hey, you out on a trail, you always gotta help other people. Remember that, guys. Alright guys, so there's the Tacoma that's stuck. Big Dodge is anchoring to it, and they're anchored up to us. So we're gonna try and slowly bring them up. So let's talk about this situation, shall we? This situation looks kinda bad, and if I'm being realistic and honest with y'all, it was bad. Now, how he is at the moment isn't terrible. He is turtled. He does have both driver's side tires on the ground, and the backs are, you know, his back rear tire is dangling and his front tire is still touching ground. Now,
this situation, in the hands of everybody that was involved, was manageable. But if none of us would have come across this guy, he would not have been able to rescue himself. And the reason I say that is he was just super inexperienced. This was the first time he had actually been off-roading. Like, you look at his Tacoma and you think, wow, it's really built out, and he's got it all. That's all it was built out. It was legitly a mall crawler until this trip that he was taking here in Colorado. And what kind of made this situation irritating was that we were trying to help him and he was being stubborn. You know, being new to off-roading, he was very much scared, which is understandable, and he kept worrying about his rig falling. Now, as you can tell, the Jeep's anchored, he's anchored to me, and we have a big, huge Dodge 2500 heavy duty anchored to him in the rear. Now, unfortunately, the Dodge did not have a winch. That is one thing I'm going to say about this situation also, is that all these people did not have recovery gear. The guy with the Tacoma, he did have a winch, but all his other recovery gear was inaccessible because he had it tucked up in the very front of the bed against, butting up against the cab, and he couldn't get to it without pulling everything out of his truck. And his max tracks were on top, and he was too afraid to get up and get them. And the big truck had zero recovery gear other than this tow strap, and they're on engineer pass. So it was very frustrating because it was up to us to basically use our recovery gear. And as you can see, as he's coming forward, he's slowly inching his way forward, and he's giving it very little throttle. And as he's coming forward, he is pulling the Jeep back. Like, I wasn't afraid of the Jeep getting pulled at it, as he was trying to winch himself up, because I anchored myself to a tree. But the situation he was in, he couldn't anchor himself or hook his winch up to any tree. He had to hook it up to me. There was zero trees in the vicinity other than the ones off to his passenger side. And as this unfolded, more and more people did start to show up because, we're blocking one of the only ways up Engineer Pass besides the backside. And we had people starting to come down, and I'm blocking the middle of the trail with the Jeep and a winch line because we're trying to fix this whole situation. And it just became a very frustrating situation because we knew what had to be done. And honestly, what made it frustrating was the owner of the Tacoma was just being very afraid and was not willing to understand that he was going to take some body damage to his truck no matter what. It was either body damage or lose the rig, and he couldn't grasp with those consequences, and he was just constantly in a panic. And so it was a game of some of them were trying to calm him down while the rest of us were sitting here going, well, this is what needs to be done, and he's getting in the way. So right here you'll see my dad and one of the other gentlemen that was helping. They're digging out some of the rocks. So under his passenger side tire, as he had been pulled forward, it got caught up on a big root and a rock. And so they were trying to clear it, and then here in a second I'm going to appear and screen with my traction boards, and they are going to wedge him under his front tires, because at this point we couldn't keep trying to pull him forward without assistance, because if you can see his driver's side rear tire, it's at an angle, and at the moment the big truck has a ton of tension on the back of his Tacoma, because as we were pulling him forward, the rocks were just giving way underneath his tires because of the angle we had to pull him at. And if the truck was to let up any on tension, it would have snapped his driver's side rear tire, because it was basically supporting all the weight of the back of the truck, because his passenger rear tire was just freely in the air. It was just spinning. It was not touching anything. And so we placed the traction boards underneath his truck in the hopes that this would work. But then the next snag came. And once again, it involved the owner of the Tacoma. He was very much afraid. And at this point, every single one of the gentlemen you see in here, minus the dude next to the cowboy hat with his hands on his hips, who is the owner of the rig, all knew that he needed to get inside of it and throttle. He needed to assist the winch. At this point, the winch wasn't going to help anymore. He needed to help give it throttle and pull it up. And I kid you not, and I'm not saying this to embarrass anybody, I'm just trying to prove a point. I kid you not, this guy straight up refused to get in his truck to give it throttle. He was dead scared of getting in his vehicle, thinking it was going to roll, though he had complete tension on the front and back, and the truck wasn't gonna, it wasn't budging anywhere. Because if we tried giving up tension on the Jeep just a little bit, and the truck started to slide, and we instantly put the tension there. So he wasn't gonna go anywhere, and he straight up refused to get in his vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot refuse to help yourself get in your vehicle and try and rescue your rig. At that point, you might as well just cut the winch line loose and let your rig roll down the hill. Like, we were all frustrated. There were 8 guys there trying to help him, and we were all so frustrated because he refused to do what needed to be done to save his rig. Now, in the end, we did recover his rig, and unfortunately, I didn't catch that on camera. I was filming it, and I didn't realize that, this whole thing took about an hour, just over an hour, hour and 15 minutes, something like that, to recover him. And, I had the camera just rolling, and I ended up, the battery went dead, unfortunately. And because all the vehicles were on, I didn't hear the camera beeping. So unfortunately, I didn't get to, capture the moment of the rig being saved. But in the end, I helped rescue the rig. I took the keys from the gentleman, and with my dad on the brakes of the Jeep to help, just anchor it down more, with the guy in the Dodge, providing the tension. I had the, controller for the winch. I was on the throttle, and I had one guy holding open the door in the, driver's side door. In the off chance that this rolled, I didn't think it would. But in the off chance that it attempted to go, I could jump out real easily. And I had a person in the front telling me, what the tires were doing, because I don't know what the tires were doing, completely. I was throttling down. I could feel movement, but I couldn't see the passenger side. I couldn't tell you what the driver's side looked like or the rear looked like, because I had a guy in the back telling me, because I was so unfamiliar with this rig. I've driven Tacomas, but when you jump in someone else's rig, if you haven't driven it before and all of a sudden you have to rescue it, you just don't know. It's all a kind of foreign. You just know steering wheel, throttle, winch, winch controller, go. And after probably about 7-10 minutes of just slow throttle and bringing in the winch, I was able to get the Tacoma up and out of this situation. But I have to tell you, it frustrates me when you want to come out here, you want to do these things, but you're not willing to rescue your own rig. Guys, you have to be able to understand the consequences. Yes, his driver or his passenger side mirror snapped, and he got a dent in his front fender, but it was a small price to pay for him to have his whole rig. So guys, you have to be willing to rescue your rig when the situation calls for it. I had to rescue my own Jeep back, a couple of ventures ago when I got in a sticky situation. I had, slowed down, thought clearly, I rescued my rig, and it was almost a similar situation, except for the cliff that, the little ledge I was on was not as steep as Engineer Pass, but I was able to help rescue myself. And in this situation, he had 8 people, and he was the constant irritation that slowed us down. But the good news is it was rescued, and we were able to continue on with our adventure.
Well, as y'all can see there in the mirror, the Tacoma is up.
I am gonna toot my own horn. I got that damn thing up. The driver was very much scared of being on the side, which, I don't blame him, but I am glad to say I got it up. beautiful up here, guys. Oh my goodness. We've been cruising. We've been trying to, you know, just make up some ground, one with two, kind of put some distance between us and everyone else, because there was, you know, there's 5 rigs, all different parties. No one was together coming up, so just trying to put some distance and things like that between us and everyone else, so that there's not any more kind of jams on the trail. But it is absolutely gorgeous. We have finally kind of crested off of the shelf road of Engineer Pass, and now we're just kind of up here in the little meadow area, and it is amazing, guys. I now understand why people love coming up to Engineer Pass. It is absolutely gorgeous up here. So pretty, so pretty. And with the snow still on parts of the mountains, it's awesome, absolutely awesome. It does make the rocks really slick though, because your tires just get wet enough and then you touch those rocks and it's like, whoop, you're sliding off. But it is awesome, guys. But we're gonna keep going a little bit. We may stop for lunch. Otherwise, if we can find an area where we can just pull off and not be on the trail for a little bit, we might just take a break. Just let the Jeep relax after going through all that lovely recovery and stuff. Otherwise, we're gonna keep pressing on. The goal is to get to some of the areas I have marked for camp, because it is almost 1 o'clock. So the goal is to hopefully get to camp a little earlier today than yesterday, but we will see.
Check out that view, guys. Oh my God, is it gorgeous up here. It is so beautiful. We are still on Engineer Pass. We are actually getting close to the very top of Engineer Pass. If I turn you this way, there's the Jeep. And we'll be going up that way. That is kind of the top part of Engineer Pass. We are almost there. We stopped, wanted to take a break because we were getting a little hungry, so we had some snacks. 2, we needed to put all the recovery gear away after helping the Tacoma get out of its predicament. And also, we're just kind of letting all the vehicles go by. There are a lot of people out here and they're all just kind of going and going, so we're just letting them kind of scoot on by, because we're in no rush, we're in no hurry. But it is gorgeous out here, guys. Oh my goodness, it is so pretty. But I wanted to take a second to remind you guys to pay attention to what you're doing on the trail, especially trails like this, and to don't go outside of your boundaries and your comfort zone if you're not, you know, if you don't know your rig. That Tacoma got really stuck because he wasn't paying attention. He wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. He didn't seem like he was, you know, he seems very new to all this off-roading, and he wasn't aired down. He didn't have everything going. All his recovery gear was somewhere he had no access to. He couldn't get access to it because it was all shoved in on the other side in the back of the truck, somewhere where he, you know, didn't want to get to it because the truck was teetering on the edge like that. The importance of having your recovery gear readily available, guys. You got to have that, and just know where your limits are. Don't go on trails that you can't handle. Engineer Pass is rated at a 5. I know I can go on a 6 rated trail with my Jeep comfortably without having issue. I don't go higher than that unless I'm with other people, and then even then the Jeep will struggle more. But just know your comfort level, and, you know, stick to what you know. If you want to try pushing yourself, great, but pay attention. Don't take your eyes off the trails to look at the pretty view. If you want to do that, stop and then look. Don't get distracted in your rig, guys, because then you end up in predicaments like that Toyota was, and then you're stuck, and you better hope that people come along. He chose a great trail to get stuck on because there were tons of us. But yeah, have your recovery gear readily available somewhere you can get it. Sorry, there's other people on the radio. But have it readily available, and pay attention, guys. It's so easy to not get stuck, and it takes no effort to get stuck, so don't get stuck. But enough about that. No more harping on that. I'm not here to harp on you on that. I'm here to bring you guys along on our adventure to show you cool crap like this. Yeah, check that view out.
Showing the guy stuck in the 4x4 or in the side by side.
Just look at this view, guys. Oh my God, is it pretty? Look at all that. Absolutely gorgeous. And what my dad's talking about, damn thing. And what my dad's talking about is right back up in there. Right up in there. There's actually a side-by-side stuck. We don't know what trail he's on. It's one of the little bypass, side trails that you can reconnect with Engineer Pass. But yeah, they're stuck. We can hear him trying to get out. We have no idea if he's got other people. We can't get access to him because the Jeep won't get up there, and that's at least 400 meters away. I guess he should have been wiser. Yeah. Not trying to get into everybody. Do the smart thing and know where you're able to go, but do the smart thing. Know where you're able to go. My goodness, I'm gonna have to start charging people for recovery fees. It's the fourth time I've broken out the winch. Third time I've had to recover someone else. Hey, that's okay. We're gonna get going here soon, guys. Alright guys, we're at the top of Engineer Pass. Look at that view. It is gorgeous. And then, boom, absolutely stunning. It is beautiful up here, guys. Absolutely beautiful. I cannot believe it. It is awesome. I've had to see other people do this for so long. I am so glad that I get to do this myself. And yes, I know it's windy, but we're almost 13,000 feet up, and that is a hell of a view. I absolutely love it up here, guys. But we're going to start making our way back down here soon.
You can see me riding on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation. What keeps you up at night, yeah? make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Keeps you up at night. Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, hey, man, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night? Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Keeps you up at night. Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
We have finished Engineer Pass, went through the little town of Lakeview, I think is what it was called, or Lakeport, one of the two, I don't remember. And now we are on Cinnamon Pass. And at the moment, this is like a very much a county road. We have an RV in front of us, a pretty lake to one side, which is really nice to look at. But we're in search for camp, so I'm hoping once we get way further back in there, we'll eventually hit the actual area of Cinnamon Pass and be able to find camp for the night and just kind of get away from people. We've been around people a lot today. So ever since we had to help that Tacoma out, since then we just kept running into people left and right. We just kept finding them, waiting for them. It didn't matter. It's just there's a lot of people out here right now. So my hope is that we can find a nice secluded camp area away from everybody like we did last night, because that would be awesome. But we're still having a good old time, and this is a very pretty lake with some wonderful scenery. And we're just gonna keep trekking along this road, guys, until we get to where it actually becomes more of a trail and not a county road.
Well, guys, we have found camp. This is actually one of the spots I marked off, and it's pretty cool, I have to admit. I think it's a little better than yesterday's. So, we had to come in, the Jeep's pointed right there, up this path, and it got really narrow, really dense in the forest. It's great. We don't have anything set up yet. We were collecting firewood. Tent will go here, but here's the cool part about this camp. Check this out, guys. Literally, this is right here off of our camp. So I'm hoping that'll be some great white noise and help us sleep tonight. But yeah, that's right there, guys. Camp's here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up camp, get it all ready to go, and then we're just gonna kind of hang out. We'll probably make dinner a little earlier just because last night it was so much later. And we're gonna enjoy a fire and keep all the bugs away, and yeah, just kind of hang out, guys. Today was a lot of fun, except for we're really tired from today. You know, going over Engineer Pass, we accomplished what we wanted to, so we had that feeling of accomplishment helping that person out for over an hour. yeah, we're ready to hang out and just chill for the day. So this is what we're gonna do, because we found, I would say, an epic campsite here in the woods. Good morning, guys. It is day 3 of our 4-day adventure. And yes, I know the sun's right on my face, but we slept a lot better last night. That creek running through there, oh my goodness, it just sounded, it was such great white noise. And then we had the heat going in the tent periodically throughout the night. It just, oh, it was just so much better of a night of sleep. Oh my goodness. We're, like yesterday, in zero rush. We have no rush. We'll eventually get ourselves going. We're enjoying the fire. We're gonna make breakfast here in a little bit. And it's gonna be a fun day. So we are gonna finish this part of section 3, if you will, of everything. So we did Engineer Pass yesterday. That led us to Cinnamon Pass. We have to finish Cinnamon Pass. We're probably, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the way through it. And so far it's been nothing but like a big dirt county road thing, but it will take us back further. Whether that's another county road or not, I have no idea. But we should end in Silverton later today or later this morning at some point. Once we hit Silverton, we're going to do some looking when we get signal. We're going to find some other trails just because we are so ahead. We're going to find some other trails to do. I did see some, but I need to figure out how difficult they are and things like that, because I don't want to try and tackle something that we can't handle. But we're going to do that, kind of regroup in Silverton, find some other trails, and then try and find another cool campsite. You know, today is going to be finishing up what we had planned, and then just finding some other trails and having a good time. And then tomorrow, we are still going to end in Telluride in the early afternoon. We're going to take the last, section of trail that I had for day 4, end in Telluride, and it's just going to be a fun time, guys. And then we'll head home. But that's all for tomorrow. Today is going to be just exploring, finding some new areas, exploring like we've been doing, and just having some fun. And fingers crossed, and I'll go knock on some wood here in a second, that we run into less people and have to do less recovery for people. That's our hope, but we'll see. But yeah, so we're just gonna enjoy this morning around the fire for a little bit, guys, eat breakfast, and then I'll see you guys when we get ready to go.
We finally got into the actual trail, or the pass, if you will. We got off of that like county road where all the private properties were. There's still private properties around us, but this is the actual narrow road, and we're gonna be taking this back across over and hitting Silverton. I don't know how long this will take us. I honestly do not know, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. So far, I've seen only one other vehicle out here, and it passed us a long time ago. And we are just having a good old time, so let's see where this takes us. Stopped by some pronghorn mountain goats. Yeah, bighorn sheep, something of that nature. I think they're bighorn sheep. Just getting some water. Well, that's pretty cool. We finally saw some wildlife that wasn't deer on the side of the main road. But those are some bighorn sheep. They were just out here hanging out, getting some water. They were not afraid of us at all. And that was really cool. They just kind of were chilling. They didn't really care we were there, which I really enjoyed. So that was kind of cool. Cinnamon Pass so far has not been disappointing. Not at all.
are taking just a little bit of a break. There was another vehicle in front of us, and he wasn't in a hurry, which is nice, but he wasn't quite moving at a constant rate of speed either. So we're letting him get up ahead. And so I thought we'd stop and check out this. This is a cool little, let's see, I'll get my hand in here. It's a nice little waterfall coming down from the mountains, from all the snow way up there's melting, coming down, rushing. And there's kind of a massive creek river running right up through there. It's really cool. And it is another gorgeous day out here, guys. Like, it has been perfect weather, absolutely fantastic. And I just can't complain about it, guys. It has been gorgeous. The mosquitoes have been a little thick, but you know, some bug spray and having the campfire at night helps keep them at bay. But right now, like, they're not around. But it is gorgeous, guys, and I love seeing all these mountains with all the snow starting to melt. But I think it's time to start heading back down the trail. I think we've given that guy enough time to get his butt ahead of us some. So we're gonna keep going down the trail, guys, and see what else we find. It is pretty up here, guys. We have hit the top of Cinnamon Pass, which was awesome, and now we have started our descent, and the temperature has dropped. We were around like 47 degrees in the middle of June. Actually, what is today? Yeah, middle of June, almost at the end of June. And wow, it is cold but pretty. It is very pretty. And unfortunately, I can't get the drone footage like I'd love to because it is so windy out here. When I try launching the drone, it just kind of pushes the drone around. It just kind of gets pushed by the wind. So that's okay. But man, is it gorgeous down through here. It is so pretty. we stopped for a break. We're taking a little bit of a break, but we have come off of Cinnamon Pass and we are heading on the trail, which is actually right behind me, towards Silverton. But we're right down here in this little valley. It's gorgeous through here. This pass, oh my goodness. And you have, if I can get the camera, right back that way. All the old mining stuff's back that way. And it's a lot warmer down here, thank goodness, because that 47 degrees and the wind chill, it was really, really cold. But that is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Guys, this has been nothing but views and views and views everywhere I look. It's just a view. It's awesome. Been loving it. Animal. Service road. We have to get it to take it back much further. I don't remember what the name of this trail is. It'll appear down there in the bottom of the screen with the name, but we are working our way back. We actually entered at a ski lodge area that takes you up back in here, and so we're kind of just like climbing up the side of the ski slope. So we're slowly but surely getting there. The roads were quite busy trying to get out here. There were a lot of people on the road just because this coming weekend is 4th of July weekend, so everybody and their mother is out traveling. But we are slowly getting there, guys, so once we actually hit the trail itself, I will reconnect with you all.
last, guys, this trail has actually become a trail. It has been a trail for probably about 2 miles now, which has been nice. We're actually on this switchbacks going up. It's actually gotten, not technical, but there's more rocks. We're seeing more water. We're doing some actual water crossings here and there. And we're finally alone. We're away from all of the traffic that, you know, you find on county roads and all the trailers and everything like that. So it's nice that this actually turned out to be a trail. I was so afraid that it wasn't going to be a trail, because over the, you know, the first quarter, or sorry, the first 3/4 of it was literally a Forest Service road, county road. So my hopes were not high after a while, but I'm very happy that this has finally turned into a trail. Yes. Guys, well, that trail ended up being a bust. At the very top, it was still covered with snow, even though it said it was open and cleared. There was still a lot of snow, and it was probably clear to people with 3-inch lift and 37s or bigger tires. They could have gotten through it. We could not. So we have turned around and we got back down to the ski area. We ate a little bit, we aired up, and now we're heading off to a new destination. This is, you know, we're changing everything on the fly, and I will show you guys where we are when we hit camp, because I think you guys are going to be a little shocked at where we end up. So I will catch you all when we get to camp.
All right, guys, we have found camp for the night. We have driven for 3 hours, and some of you are probably wondering, where are you? Because we're not in the forest anymore. This is where we are. If you recognize this, you will know. But we are in Moab. It was a decision between, do we drive towards Grand Junction or drive towards Moab? They're both 3 hours away, and I said, let's go to Moab. So, we are out here in the deserts of Moab. We are actually just off of the Rim Rocker Trail, camping on an awesome campsite. We've got this nice little canyon below us. It's kind of like a wash. Got the San Juan Mountains in the background. Oh my goodness, guys. It's a beautiful camp spot. Doesn't beat last night's, but this beats the first night. This is awesome. And we're gonna have an awesome evening. Dad's working on trying to get a campfire. I got dinner cooking. It's just gonna be a good day, guys. Like, this has been a fun day, though we've had, you know, our setback with the trail. We ended up here in Moab unexpectedly. We saw tons of wildlife. It's gonna be awesome, guys. Well, good morning, guys. It is day 4. We are here in Moab. It is beautiful. Last night the temperature was awesome. It wasn't cold. We woke up this morning, no jackets. It was, loving it. And this view behind me with the morning sun is absolutely fantastic. So we've had breakfast. We're gonna get ready to clean up here and everything. But I actually am going to end the video here because me and my dad are gonna just have a fun day today. He's never been out here to Moab, so we're gonna go do some things. And I'm just gonna put the camera away and just enjoy it. All the past 3 days I've been running up and down the trail and I've been enjoying it and everything, but we're just gonna have some really fun time and just gonna put the cameras away. So thank you all for joining us on our adventure this week. It has been so much fun. I cannot explain to you guys how much fun it has been. However, hit that subscribe button. If you have not done it yet, please hit that subscribe button. We have a goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers here on the channel, and you guys are what is going to make it happen. So please go ahead, hit that button. It helps us out a ton here on the channel. Also, if you haven't checked out some of our other social media platforms, the links are in the description below. Go check them out, guys. The journey doesn't end here. I'm always posting on those platforms and keeping everything up to date. So go ahead, check them out below. If you guys would like to help support the channel, there is a link to Patreon below. Anything that you guys wish to donate is greatly appreciated by us because your guys' help is what helps make these adventures happen. Helps with the tanks of gas, things like that. But thank you all for joining me today, guys. It has been awesome, and I will catch you all next time out on the trail.